Dr. Happiness, Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, Diet, Quiet,
Oh, quiet.
Happiness, and Movement. Balance between your happiness, what brings you joy, those activities, your quiet time, your rest time, and how you're moving your body, flow.
So you actually pay attention to the heritage. So for example, I was born in China. I grew up in China. So if even though the climate in Melbourne, for example, is very different from my hometown, and you would suggest me to go look at what I ate when I was little.
Say the infection is a symptom, but to actually get to the root cause of it, so then it doesn't happen again. Like a person once said, it's a journey from your head to your heart, right?
Let your light shine. Help others find their way out of the darkness. Extraordinarily inspiring stories from ordinary people like you and I.
Paul, I just want to thank you so much for coming and then spending some time with me, because I'm very intrigued with what you've been sharing, because I've been following you on Facebook a little bit, and then I love the love part, and you share quite a lot of things, and that's sometimes a little bit I consider as even controversial. I guess that's your voice, and I think you also mentioned that you want to be that person to be the voice for others, so that people can see the possibility. Very similar to myself, and I also wanted to really bring that voice, and so other people can say, "Oh wow, you can do that. Maybe I can too." Or people been through challenges, and then like what you said, and if you talk about all this sunshine and rainbow and all the wonderful things, sometimes may not be as relevant as people saying, "Oh, I'm struggling," and then that person say, "I'm struggling as well." What inspired you to get into the health and lifestyle?
Throughout my life, because of the foods and everything that I ate, I sort of got like a fungal infection. And that sort of took a big toll to my confidence and the way that I perceived myself. And so I journeyed out to understand what is the foundation for me to get healthy, and so that I can not even combat, the you can say the infection is a symptom, but to actually get to the root cause of it, so then it doesn't happen again. Because I know the yeah, so I know how to better live my life. So it's a lifestyle.
So were you sick or?
More of a lack of energy, fatigue, brain fog, a bit of gut issues as well, and dandruff. That was the big key indicator if I did have it or not.
How are you feeling now?
I feel great. Like I am on mostly, organic foods. I'm sourcing my foods from local farmers that I can actually ask, or, if you're using any chemicals or anything like that, on that. So I'm going through the process to know if there is the nutrition that I want in the food and how it's grown. So if the soil is regenerative, say it's with a rotating crop instead of monocropping like commercial farms, then it will actually look after the soil because there's so much variety in that area. So over time, if it's regenerative, the soil actually gets better and better instead of monocropping and degenerating the actual soil itself and stripping it of its bacteria. 90% of diseases and illnesses derived from food because we eat at least 2 or 3 times each day. What Hippocrates said was, "Let food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food."
What are you doing? I saw you were a coach.
You can call me, a Czech practitioner. And that is just evaluating a person's stresses, lifestyle, and where they want to be in life and where they're at. Balance between your happiness, what brings you joy, those activities, your quiet time, your rest time, and how you're moving your body, flow. You can say Dr. Happiness, Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, Diet, Quiet,
Oh,
Happiness,
quiet.
and Movement.
movement.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Diet is quite simple. As long as you understand where your parents and grandparents are born and what their diet was like, your diet will be quite similar to them. So if you're in a region where it was like really hot, then your diet can be more carbohydrates and fruits and salads, yeah, because that's more accessible in that type of climate. But if your parents and grandparents were born in a more cold weather, it'll be more polar type. So it'll be more, you need that actual solid meat to actually keep your body warm. If you were to eat, a salad in cold weather, damn, son, you can freeze your ass. So happiness, obviously, we need to understand. All right, Dr. Happiness for me, or like that goal, objective, dream is that I want to lose 5 kilograms or I want to lose 10 kilograms. It can be that simple. So that can be your North Star. Without that dream or goal, you won't be able to have the values of diet, movement, and quiet in your life because you don't know how much you need of that if you don't know your dream, objective, your Dr. Happiness. So once you have that, then those other three will follow. How much movement optimally do I need a day for me to live my dream, to get that 5 kilos off, 10 kilos off? How much sleep do I actually need to optimize so then again can get those 5 kilos off? And quiet, movement, and diet, right? So if I'm eating crap, how the hell am I supposed to get, that 5-10 kilos off? So that's where, if you have that objective, then you'll be able to eat right. You would want to sleep on time. You would exercise enough so that you can get that anabolic response where, it's just in balance.
So you actually pay attention to the heritage. So for example, I was born in China. I grew up in China. So if, even though the climate in Melbourne, for example, is very different from my hometown, and you would suggest me to go look at what I ate when I was little. That's interesting.
Yes. So how was the climate then, and what did your parents sort of have easy access to?
In summer, it's really hot, and we had lots of salads, porridge, because it's too hot to eat any hot food.
That's it, yeah.
But in winter, there's lots of stew. Where I was in Melbourne, actually, sometimes a little bit, but not humid. So where I grew up, it's very humid. So similar to where I'm now, but where I'm now, it doesn't get cold like where I was back in China. I eat really very simple, very healthy diet, but I can't put on weight because what I eat is, I guess, for people who need to lose weight, not put on weight. I think I also have some issues with the digestive part, so I don't digest as well. I actually pay a lot attention to my emotional state. When am I emotionally very connected with God? I'm health-wise really well.
We definitely cannot eat when we are in a sympathetic state. So that means that all of it, pretty much the blood is shunting out to the muscles and it's not in your organs anymore. So if you're stressed out, you're producing cortisol, anything like that, then the blood is not in your organs. It's not able to use that blood to actually digest the food. So if you're in a sympathetic state, your digestion is actually shut down. You're not able to digest your food very well at all. So yes, that is a big factor, stress. If you are able to eat in a peaceful environment and you can understand, you're breathing out optimally as well. So on the exhale, you're doing multiple exhales, a long exhale that will stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, and so that will optimize your digestion because you're in a more relaxed state. You're not in survival mode anymore where, you need that to like run away or something like that. But for digestion, I hear a lot of people that age, it's natural. We lose the hydrochloric acid in our gut. And depending on what you eat, it's going to be quite difficult for you to just digest and assimilate the food to get the nutrition out of your body. And so I would recommend, if what the test is that you eat your food with, with either you use apple cider vinegar, put that in your water, say a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I'm pretty sure you would know that brand.
Yep.
Put that in like warm water, to the extent that you can handle that apple cider vinegar, and just because warm water, it's easier for your body to digest while eating the food as well. And if that helps you out, then that is an indication that you are low in hydrochloric acid, and so you can supplement enzymes. I would recommend by optimizers. They have very good HLC supplements, which will kickstart the hydrochloric acid in your stomach before or during you eat. And so that would assimilate, help you break down the food. But that's just on a symptom level. You need to, that's very symptomatic. So to the root cause of things, you would want to bone marrow broths, the meat broths. The meat broths are the best because they have a very high amino acid profile in that. So cook that, meat broth, cover it like a centimeter, 2 centimeter, just a little bit of meat on the bone. Bone marrow, the best. I would say slow cook that for like around 5 to 8 hours. You get those enzymes, and that will actually help you heal your gut lining. And raw foods as well. So raw foods, all of that, getting that enzymes back into your body. Sauerkraut, pickled stuff, kimchi, that will restore your gut like a freaking, just the quickest thing ever. But you gotta be consistent with that every single day. Start by little, and then work your way up, because some people are very sensitive to that because their gut just can't handle it. So even putting the little, the brine of the kimchi, like even a teaspoon of that to start off with, just over your rice or something, is enough for you to be healing your gut and working your way up.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I haven't actually done a lot of things lately. I used to follow really, like I did a lot of bone broth and kimchi and yogurt, all those fermented stuff. In general, I feel really good. Again, I call when I'm connected with God and my body, everything. I don't have. And then when I'm not, that's again an emotional state for me. I'm just very intrigued to what made you get on this journey that you are on.
My journey and everything that I've gone through so far, it's all leading up to soul work, energy work, all of these things that actually resonate to my heart. Like a person once said, it's a journey from your head to your heart, right? So all the things that I'm acting upon, I'm reading upon, and listening to other people in podcasts or whatever, or relations, or just with friends even, it's all in a way where it's open and it's present and it's purposeful.
Do you meditate much?
Yeah, it's like throughout my, I guess, entire day, if I can become conscious of, say, a thought, conscious of my body, conscious of the way that I breathe, conscious of how my eyes feel in particular, then that's like a meditation that I do. You can call it incidental training as well. It's like throughout the day you can, consciously stretch or just do anything, but you're conscious of doing that task. So that is like an ongoing throughout the day a grounding technique that I sort of use. Even wiggling your toes. That's it. That's, you know, consciously, purposely just moving a part of your body or being aware of a part of your body. If it's tense, if it's relaxed, or anything like that. Moving meditation. So it's like Tai Chi. It's moving your body um, and linking your breath with it at the same time. So if you were to expand your body, then you would inhale, and once you're in a more fetal position, closer to your body, then you would exhale out. So that is like the rhythm that I go in. And if you do that for like 15-20 minutes, you just get into a meditative therapeutic state, and that's more in tune with how I am, because I have a racing mind. If I sit down, I will think about something else in a span of like 30 seconds, you know? Yeah, and then it'll take me like 2 minutes into that journey, and I'll be like, oh, let's go back to, you know, like just whatever it is that I need to be focusing on, like a mantra or something like that, you know? So just
I guess
it's
that's
just me.
normal though. A lot of
Yeah.
people like that. It's like, I'll kind of naturally, the mind doesn't want to rest. The mind just wants to wander.
At the moment, I'm doing like weighted calisthenics instead of just body weight at the moment, because one of the person that I was coached by, he was just like, yeah, all you're doing is stretching out, all you're doing is letting out all the tension in your body, but at the moment you're so in your head, you're so in your mind that you actually need to strengthen your body so then you can handle what your mind is going through. That touched me. Matt Walden is a very, very good coach. He's a Czech practitioner in the institute itself as well. And you need to balance your body and your mind, he's the person to go to. But there's actually a lot of Czech practitioners out there that can measure, you know, your body and align that, because um, your mental and your physical self is a direct mirror. So let's say some person is depressed, how would they posture themselves? Very, you know, rounded, very in the head, very just low energy. You can just feel it, right? But if a person was, you know, energetic and happy, they would open up wide open, chest open, allowing everything in, right? So that's where the mirror is. Whatever you think will be projected onto your body as well.
Beautiful way to explain it. I actually feel that a lot. That's why I feel for myself, diet is one thing, but lifestyle and mindset, and it's a bigger thing for me when I'm thinking loving thoughts, and I find I'm feeling better. And then on very odd days, I would have some thoughts, and I don't like this person, or I don't like this what things, and then I can feel that my body is not as well. So I actually very, very sensitive to how I feel, how I think. What's the Czech? Is the Czech Institute?
Yep. So
What is that?
CHEK. So it's corrective holistic exercise kinesiology. The kinesiology is more in tune with like muscle testing and feeling what you actually need. So asking your own body, your own soul, okay, is this tomato going to give me the nutrition that I need? It's a yes and no question, right? And you'll get that if you're in tune with what a yes and no feels like in your body. But for me, I'm like halfway there. I use a pendulum instead. So then I'm in tune with actually my pendulum. If it swells to the right, that means a yes. If it swells to the left, that means no. If it's like stalemate, like going up and down, that means it's neutral.
So what made you transition into wanting to do what you want to do?
Because of the, I guess, like the energy level that I have at the moment, and wanting everybody to actually feel the way that I feel, even have the knowledge that I have learned. It's also empowering. Once you have those foundations, you can literally, you know, like the goal is to, for everybody, even if they don't question it, is to live to their highest DNA potential, right? So that's where I'm at. Like, I want to optimize, or I want to integrate my body, mind, and spirit. And so, how will I be able to do that throughout the day? What, who are the people that I need to be around? Who are the people that are ambitious? Who are the people that are inspiring? Who have energy? Who are so positive and so loving in a way where you're just like, oh man, I want to live for that person. I want to live for, you know, this life, in this life, because these people are just so magnetic. There's so many people out there that have misinformation about their diet. Like, everybody is as different on the inside as the outside. So say one diet book worked for this person, but you give this diet book to another person, they completely just doesn't work, just goes completely against their body's nature. So it's knowing that it's just the proportions that you should eat throughout the day, and that is a ratio between good fats, really healthy fats, avocado oil, macadamia oil, yeah, those olive oil is pretty good. It has to be extra virgin, cold pressed, so it just has all the nutrition in it. But yeah, so that's just fats. There's carbohydrates, which is all the vegetables, everything else. There's a portion of that as well, and a grass-fed, pasture-raised type of meat or wild-caught seafood. If you do that and you just tweak the proportions, you know you get it right when you're actually not hungry for the next 3 to 4 hours and your energy level is on freaking point. That's when you know that what you just ate, your body loves it, and it is the correct proportions. But all I can say is How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy by Paul Chek, which is the founder of the Institute, of the Chek Institute. That is the Bible of healthy living.
So basically, you had some challenging, I guess you have some challenges with your health. And then you went research and then you experimented a lot of things. And then you pretty much now feel you're feeling good. And then you don't have, or most of the days, and you don't have all the things that you used to have, or the challenges that you have. And now you wanted to help other people.
Exactly. Like, it's a co-creation in this life. Like, if all there is us. If anybody is to understand that all there is us, there's no separation from you and I. So the only work here is to be as conscious as possible of the actions that you take, or that we take. There's no other way. There's no other purpose in life. If you weren't here, if nobody else was here, I would have no purpose. It was only me.
How do we, as living in this world, how do we keep connected? Or even thinking about, there's no difference between you and I or anyone else. When I'm connected with God, and I feel I'm connected with people, animals, other things. But when I'm disconnected with God, and then I only focus on the things that I want or what I like. For you are a male, I'm a female. You look different than me. And you have different experiences. I'm living in here and you live over there.
It's a working process. Like, enjoy being, you know, disconnected, because we need that disconnection to be able to feel connected. That's the contrast in life. Like, if you didn't know or what it felt for, you know, to be in a breakup and to be in a relationship, then you wouldn't know the contrast. So you need that breakup to be like, oh, you know, how can I reflect on this and then be in a relationship that reflects me in a more better way. But what I'm getting at is, if there isn't a low in life and disconnected, separated, if you're alone and everything, if there wasn't that, you wouldn't know what high is. So to the extent that you can be at rock bottom is to the extent that you can be as high as you freaking want, because you know you're going to get back up and get at it. And that low feeling is always going to be there, but it's where your focus is, you know. Everything is actually always here. It's just that what are you going to really focus and concentrate your energy on?
How do you practice that in your life? Can you give me some examples of how you practice?
I just take it head on. It's like, it's that shadow. It's, you know, what they say is the gold is in the shadow. It's in the darkness. We need to be able to express that this person, or the way that we just dislike or that we judge about ourselves, and just accept it in us. And once you accept that, you can forgive yourself for actually judging yourself, or feeling that you're unworthy now, or because you have, you know, some sort of or like someone else is judging you and now you're judging yourself. It's literally accepting that you are not the judgment, and you're able to forgive yourself first before you can actually give compassion to anybody else.
It's really about self-care, self-love, be compassionate with ourselves. I normally say you can't give what you don't have.
Exactly right.
Thank you so much for spending the time and sharing your genius. I love it. How can people reach you?
That on all my platforms, on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook.
Let your light shine. Help others find their way out of the darkness. Extraordinarily inspiring stories from ordinary people like you and I. I believe we are all extraordinary, yet we're all ordinary. Let your light shine.